Now let's go into House Bill 14, I believe is the number. This is regarding nuclear energy in Texas. What would this bill change?
What this bill does, House Bill 14, would basically make Texas the epicenter for nuclear development in the United States, and I would argue in the world. We're right now in a race with China and Russia on who will be the leader in nuclear energy development. China is building right now 22 new advanced modular reactors, and Russia is exporting the most uranium than anywhere else in the world. Texas is sitting on more uranium deposits than Saudi Arabia has in oil deposits. So we have an untapped fuel source. It's not untapped. I would say an underdeveloped and undertapped fuel source in uranium in the state of Texas. And so if through passing House Bill 14, we incentivize the development of nuclear reactors and the supply chain, then it would have an incredible impact on the overall economy of the state of Texas, because we're capturing the entire value chain from fuel development all the way to reactor construction and deployment.
What have you heard from citizens in East Texas regarding this bill?
Really, the vast majority of the response has been nothing but positive. And just yesterday, the Republican Party of Texas came out and made House Bill 14 a legislative priority because it accomplishes so many things. That it makes sure that we're securing our grid and having a energy source that is not only resilient but operates for 60 years once it comes online, almost completely uninterrupted. It's not susceptible to extreme weather patterns like we saw with Winter Storm Uri, when all of the different types of energy generation went down. And that's why I think it's a critical time for us to make this investment now, to get these advanced nuclear projects over the cost curve. And then the state of Texas can get completely out of it, of being in the business of investing in these. We shouldn't be in the long run. This is just to get us over the initial hump of bringing the cost curve down.
Yeah, because if I read this bill correctly, the Advanced Nuclear Energy Office would expire in 2040, if that's correct.
That's correct. The office and the purpose of the office that's created in the bill is to work alongside nuclear companies and the federal agencies that traditionally gum up the permit process, and to try to fast track that whole process with the federal government.
Now, in your view, was this more so a bill about job creation or energy creation for Texas?
The beautiful thing is it accomplishes both at the same time. I originally started becoming a fan of advanced nuclear technology in my role as the natural resources chair, looking at water. We have to be able to solve for our water problem long term. Where are we going to get this water? Well, the state of Texas is sitting on a literal ocean of brackish or salty groundwater throughout different areas. And in order to power the desalination plants that will be required to turn that water into drinking water or usable water, we've got to have new sources of energy. We can't just take what we have on the grid right now and be able to supply the power needed. So having small modular reactors deployed throughout the state of Texas, where we're desalinating that water, we solve a lot of problems at the same time. I think we're talking about thousands of jobs, thousands of new high-paying quality jobs, new industry coming to the state of Texas, and not just building here. That's the thing. If we make Texas the epicenter of this, then Texas begins exporting this technology throughout the rest of the country and the rest of the world, because we're the ones who are building it.
And just for folks who may be unfamiliar with, nuclear products, what would Texans be exporting exactly?
So mostly the small modular reactors, the technology. So you build those things, some of them can fit on a truck bed, and you truck them out to wherever they're needed to be deployed, and it's completely safe. Many of the new reactors, like molten salt reactors, are walk-away safe, where the old Chernobyl style meltdowns that we saw decades ago, those are from reactors that operate at extremely high pressures. And so with a molten salt reactor, those are operating at this a pressure the equivalent of what's coming out of a garden hose, the water coming out of your garden hose. So you're not going to have these massive explosions if something does happen, and it's all self-contained. And when the salt cools, the reaction stops. So you don't have the continual nuclear reaction going on, producing all of this fallout.
I do want to go off of that because some may be concerned about having more nuclear reactors in Texas, particularly after events like 3 Mile Island or Fukushima. What would be your response to those concerns?
That's an understandable concern, but with the new technologies, many of these reactors are utilizing almost every bit of the fuel. So there's very, very little waste left behind. And these new technologies are far safer than what we saw decades ago. We've learned a lot over the last several decades of what went wrong with the large scale light water reactors. And we're not going to make those same mistakes again because we're kind of switching gears to a completely new type of technology.
And could any work that results from this, could any products go towards nuclear weapons themselves?
No, that's the federal government, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, the Department of Energy still would have a large role to play in making sure that nuclear proliferation from a weapon standpoint will not happen.